Yahweh, in the name of his son Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ, call Halal Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. We are Hebrew chosen elect. We fellowship here at Rose Hill Community Center, located at 19 Lamps Lane, classroom 110B in Newcastle, Delaware. If you would like to fellowship, you can fellowship with us from 12 to 4 p.m. and we'd be glad to have you join us. My name is Brother Yakana, and this is Brother Gamaria to my right. And today we're going to continue reading in our Shabbat lesson in Genesis chapter 12. So if you are ready, get your pens, your papers, and follow along with us through the scriptures, as long as take notes to our historical references as well. And we will continue the Shabbat reading as well. If you would like to add any precepts, you can type in your precepts online. And if anybody will have any precepts that are sitting here amongst the congregation, please say Salakia, and we will add your precepts along to the lesson. Once again, we are continuing reading in the book of Genesis, chapter 12. The book of Genesis, chapter 12.
Hold up. Okay.
The book of Genesis, chapter 12. Now Yahweh had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed.
So this right here, this is where the Christians would go to say what? Read that again.
And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed.
Right. So who knows the answer to that?
Kingdoms for everyone. It means they try to use this to everybody to get salvation.
Everybody can get salvation just by what? As long as you do what? Bless Israel, you will be blessed. So everybody can get salvation. They take it from a blessing all the way to salvation. Hallelujah. Everybody's in. Christ died for everybody at the end. It says a blessing. A blessing, does that mean salvation? A blessing can be something like you get, a little substance.
Give me back what you stole.
Right, give me back what you stole. That'd be a blessing to us. If you want to bless us, give us back what you stole. When would that happen?
Don't kill us at an unwanted traffic stop.
Right. But when's that going to stop? The quarter past never, right? That ain't going to stop because the scripture said that Esau would have a perpetual hatred, right?
Against the evil of your nation.
But we're going to show, though, like, that's cool. Fine, let's play with the idea. If anybody can be saved, because if you would be a blessing to Jacob, well, it goes on later. It goes from Abraham to Jacob. The same thing is said. But if you're a blessing to thee, will be a blessing to them, right? That's what we just read. So let me look. If somebody already got it, it's what one nation had not had a part in Israel's oppression or captivity. If somebody got it, let me know. I'm gonna look it up. You know where we're at. The one that says, if what one nation has not played a part. I think it's in Baruch. That's in First Maccabees 2:10. But if you can think of another one, we can pull that too. So it says, cool. If whatever nation blesses you, be a blessing to them. Salvation. So all they gotta do is bless Israel, right? Okay. Let's see if anybody is even left to be that blessing. Because it says, whoever blesses thee will I bless, and it said, whoever curses thee will I curse. Right?
So First Maccabees?
First Maccabees 2:10. Go ahead. Start at 8.
The book
Started.
of First Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 8. Her temple has become as a man without glory. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity.
This is speaking of Israel. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Her infants are slain in the streets. Her young men with the sword of the enemy.
The vessels carry away captive. Temple has become without glory. Infants slain in the streets. Is this blessings? Go ahead.
What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils?
What nation ain't took part in this? That's a question, a rhetorical one at that. Because all nations have had a part in the slaying of infants, the spoiling of the city, the temple becoming without glory. Curses on Israel.
They still taking
All
part.
nations taking part. Still eating off of that. That's why any other nation come here and get grants. You don't got that credit score, it don't matter.
They ain't got to wait 90 days for it either.
You ain't got to wait 90 days for it. What's your plan? I want to open up restaurant in neighborhood. What type of neighborhood? In black neighborhood. Approved. Just like that. You're going to make a ton of money. Go get that money, son.
Keep it out
Look how
there.
they crossing the border.
Keep it out there.
Look how they crossing the border.
Mm-hmm.
Free home, free health care, free dental,
Tax free for 10 years.
no taxes, free rent for 2 years.
Oh, Russia's invading your country. We got you. We got you. Oh, you ain't letting Negroes on trains? We still got you. Leave them Negroes there. Let them deal with that. Let them get slaughtered. Because ain't that what they did over there, over that way? They ain't letting the Negroes get on the trains and let till the Edomites get on them trains and get up out of there.
Negroes have to get off, let the best get off.
They gotta get off and let the best get on. But hey, come up over here. We got you. So what one nation has not played a part in this? Go ahead.
What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? All her ornaments are taken away of a free woman. She has become a bond slave.
See, we already know who the bond slave is. It just said it, and that's the so-called Negro, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native American Indian. That's all. Let's go back. So it's impossible for that to be. Maybe in Abraham's time, yeah, it was possible, but then every nation came along and said, "The hell with that blessing, I'm gonna be that curse." So that there's that. Christianity is trash, garbage juice. They need to just go ahead and turn that and put a couple poles in there and start profiting that way off of that folly.
And the controversy on bless those that bless thee, the real controversy is show me a nation on the earth that Israel has not blessed.
Mm-hmm.
Every nation, right?
Right.
It's salvation. So how is it that a nation that has never blessed Israel get the same thing that Israel, and it has blessed all nations?
Done.
It's really the same today as you've seen from the outset with Jacob going to Laban.
Right.
The same way Jacob was a blessing to Laban, but everything flourished when Jacob was there. Laban got rich while Jacob was there because of and that blessing came because of Jacob being there. And then what Laban ended up turning around and doing? He cheated him first out of the deal for his woman. Then after that, he changed his wages, said 10 times. And then when Jacob made a deal to go ahead and leave and was like, ain't even worry about all that. And the Most High turned it on Laban and gave Jacob all the cattle that the deal was for to be Jacob's cattle. Yeah. And the ones that wasn't Laban's, he lost out. Then he did what? Came and pursued him. Like, oh nah, I'm having second thoughts about this deal here. You know, you must have did something.
And so much that he made him flee into Esau's refuge, his enemy.
Mm-hmm. Right. So all nations have played a part in taking the blessings and then returning the curse. And then we know what the scripture says about returning evil for good.
Mm-hmm.
David was ready to kill Nabal off of that.
Yes.
Yeah. What's up?
Don't forget about the switcheroo.
Yeah, that's which one?
The Israel that they blessing is the wrong Israel.
Yes.
That they got over there.
Oh yeah. They're blessing the hell out of them. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to be us.
Mm-hmm.
Amalek.
That's Psalms 83. That's
so when the Christians bring out the blessing and everybody gets salvation, that's because of they blessing Israel over there. Matter of fact, we're being forced to bless Israel because they're taking our taxes and giving it to them freely.
Mm-hmm.
You
Like
crazy
all that,
too.
Yeah.
all that Iron Dome they got over there. Where'd they get that from? Who gave them that technology and funded that? Yeah, America gave them that.
That's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to make a distinction between the two Israels.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We can go back. Yeah, so ain't no nations left over to even be that.
Verse 4. So Abram departed as Yahweh had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sychem, unto the plain of Moreh. And the Canaanite was then in the land. And Yahweh appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto Yahweh, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and high on the east. And there he builded an altar unto Yahweh, and called unto the name of Yahweh. And Abram so journeyed, going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt and sojourned there, for the famine was grievous in the land.
So because of a famine, now the Most High told him to leave his land. He left his land. Now it's a famine. Now he's going down to Egypt to get substance so that he can live and not starve, and to get some of more detail into this sojourning in Africa or Egypt. We're gonna go to Josephus, book 5, I think, chapter 8. This is Antiquities of the Jews, book 5. So I get book 1, my fault. What am I thinking? Book 1, chapter 8. So we're in the Antiquity of the Jews, book 1, chapter 8, verse 161. Go ahead.
The book of Josephus, chapter 1, book 8, chapter 1, verse 161. Now after this, when the famine had invaded the land of Canaan, and Abram had discovered that the Egyptians were in a flourishing condition, he was disposed to go down to them both to partake of the plenty they enjoyed and to become an auditor of their priest and to know what they said concerning the gods, designing either to follow if they had better notions than he or to convert them into a better way.
So Abraham was going down to do the work of a evangelist, and it said he was he came down to Egypt. He didn't just go down to eat. Abraham was doing this throughout wherever he went. So he ain't just coming down there to eat and be blessed by the Most High. He coming down there to what? He coming down there to labor. Yeah, he coming down there to be an evangelist, trying to make sure that everybody's following the Most High. Or in turn, it said, if they can show him that their way is brighter, their way is better. Okay, maybe I got it wrong, but I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna check y'all. Kind of like in Belly when Method Man went Oklahoma. So I came out here to check niggas.
You went in Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska. Came out here to check niggas. What'd he bring? He brought the Benz. Brought the Benz and the whole nine. But said he was came to be an auditor of the priest. I'm just on my phone to look for the definition of auditor real quick. So he was going to be an auditor of their priests. Person who conducts an audit. All right, what's an audit? They can't never just give it to you simple. Audit definition. Conduct an official financial examination of an individual or organization's accounts. So he was coming there to do that, but on the spiritual side. He was coming there to conduct an official spiritual examination of the priest. Religious examination of the priest. Right? Keep going.
If his own notions prove the trust, now see. Verse 11.
Read from here again. Just
or to convert them into a better way if his notions prove the truest.
So he was coming to convert, because we already know the notions, whatever they got down there, that's all idolatry. So he wasn't going to find righteousness with the priest. He wasn't going to find actual servitude to the Most High. So he was coming down there to prove all things. That's what he was coming to do. Abraham was already in the mind state of proving all things. So he didn't come down there. He came down there knowing for a fact that he was serving the Most High, but still the same. Okay, I'm going to try these people. I'm going to try these priests. Before I come to the conclusion, I'm going to see what they're talking about. And when it's some BS and it's false, okay, now, all right, well, listen, y'all doing it wrong. This is the way to follow the Most High. This is Yahweh's ways. Yahweh's his name. He came down there to put an end to this Cyrus and Ra and all that BS they got, right? Back to Genesis.
The book of Genesis, chapter 12, verse 11. And it came to pass when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee.
All right, stop there. So did Abraham commit incest? Did he lie to Pharaoh? Two questions. Did he lie to Pharaoh, and did he commit incest? Because he just said, say that you're my sister. So is Abraham married to his sister?
Yes.
Neither. Right. The answer is going to be no to both. If he's not married to his sister, then he must have lied to Pharaoh. But you got it. You hit it. Neither. He didn't. And we're going to show how he didn't commit incest. And we're going to show how he also didn't lie. See, what he used is he used wisdom. He's going to say something that's true, but not true at the same time. I'm going to show you how. So Genesis 11, 27, 31. We're going to backtrack a little bit. Go ahead, read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, 27, 31. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father, Terah, in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. And the name of Abram's wife was Sarai. And the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. But Sarai was barren. She had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law.
Hold on. Sarai is what?
The daughter-in-law.
All right. So why wouldn't he say and his daughter? Oh, because you married your brother. Now you're just my daughter-in-law. Now you're my daughter. Y'all doing some filth, but you're my daughter. You're my son. No, it says daughter-in-law because when do you become a daughter-in-law? By a lawful marriage, exactly. So it wasn't his sister. It was, and we see that by how would it be his sister? It wasn't his father's daughter. But it could. What if it's his mother's daughter, not his father's daughter? We're going to see that later. That's going to be taken care of in the whole discourse, right? Tell him that you're my sister.
Are you gonna save that one?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that one. Yeah, it's because for one, we're gonna read it in text. So that's why I didn't even go straight to it. But we're knocking out already. It's not his father's daughter; it's his father's daughter-in-law. All right, go ahead. Did we finish 31?
And Terah took Abraham his son, and Lot the son of Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there.
All right, now we're going to Josephus. Now we know Josephus is not the Bible, but he's not just a Hebrew, he's a Jew, first century historian. And he can give us at least what the sentiments were all the way back during Christ's time. We can see what was passed down to the Jews, long before we was here in America, waking up out of Christianity or Islam or whatever lies through centuries of being asleep, right? So read this. This is this chapter 7, I believe, of the same book 1 we've been reading out of the Antiquities, verse 151. Go ahead.
The book of Josephus, book 1, chapter 7, verse 151. Now Abraham had 2 brethren, Nahor and Haran. Of these Haran left a son, Lot, as also Sarai and Milcah, his daughters.
So Haran had died, and we read in the Genesis, in the genealogy, we did read that Lot went and stayed with Abraham, and Haran had Milcah. We read that Milcah got married to somebody else. Then it didn't say Sarai was his daughter, but she was in the mix though, and Abraham married Sarai. So Josephus is saying that Lot and Sarai and Milcah were all siblings. Go ahead.
And died among the Chaldeans in a city of the Chaldeans called Ur. And his monument is shown to this day. These married their nieces. Mm-hmm. Nahor married Milcah, mm-hmm. and Abraham married Sarai.
So Nahor married Milcah, and Abraham married Sarai. And so Haran is Abraham's father's house, right? Okay. Go to Genesis 20, 10 to 12.
The book of Genesis, chapter 20, 10 and 12. And Abimelech said unto Abraham.
So reason we're jumping to 20.
And Abimelech said.
Real quick, let me explain where we're at. Because we're jumping to 20 is because later on in Abraham's journeys, I believe it's the Assyrian king, but his name is Abimelech. He gives Abimelech the same story. The same circumstances coming in this country. He thought that they would want to take Sarah, so he gave them the same story. Go ahead. And now after Abimelech finds out that it wasn't true, he comes to Abraham like, yo, what's going on? Go ahead.
And Abimelech said unto Abram, what sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, because I thought surely the fear of Yahweh is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father.
Hold on. So this is what I was talking about. She is my sister. She is the daughter of my father. So keep going.
But not the daughter of my mother.
That X's out that. She's not even of his mother. So he's the daughter of my father's household, not my mother's household. Go ahead.
And she became my wife.
All right. So we see that it's his father's daughter-in-law, not daughter, but she's of his father's household. That lines up with what Josephus said, that Haran had Sarah and Milcah. Haran is of his father's household. He's talking about household. She's of my the daughter of my father's household, not my mother's household. The same way if you was to have a heathen mother and a Israelite dad, and then an Israelite with both Israelite parents would say, that's my brother of my father, not my mother. No, the mixed one would say, this is my brother of my father, not of my mother, because my mother is an Edomite or my mother is a Moabite. He's an Israelite, but we're brothers because my father is an Israelite. Brother of my father, not my mother. That's what's going on here. He's saying, this is my sister indeed of my father's household, not my mother's household. Question?
So going back to the earlier class, this is the same setup as Adam and Eve. But Adam had to find his wife among his people, which was his sister, and became his wife.
Right.
Because she was of the
same lineage. Right, come. And we're going to show that through other scriptures where this is my sister and it's not the person's actual sister.
Your sister by the bloodline.
Yeah, but we're going to see two people together in marriage and one being called the sister. Genesis 26, 6 to 7.
The book of Genesis, chapter 26, 6 and 7. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, she is my sister. For he feared to say,
so this is
my wife.
This is Isaac with the same situation. Coming into another land, and he's telling them, this is my sister. Where did Isaac's wife come from? Who knows?
I know it comes from
Matter of fact, we're about to go there. Exactly, and we're about to go there. So he's telling this king in Gerar, this is my sister. Go ahead. Talking about his wife. Go ahead.
And the men of this place asked him of his wife, and he said, she is my sister. for he feared to say, She is my wife, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon.
Drop the Genesis 24 and 3-4. So same scenario. Isaac's wife, who he's calling his sister.
The book of Genesis, chapter 24, 3 and 4. And I will make thee swear by Yahweh, thy power of heaven, and the power of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell, but thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac.
So we see here that Isaac's wife, who he's calling his sister, is from his father's household. One more, Tobit 8, 7, 8.
The book of Tobit, chapter 8, 7 and 8. And now, O Yahweh, I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly, therefore mercifully ordained that we may become aged together. And she said with him, a month.
Hold on, read that again. Slock it.
And now, O Yahweh, I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly, therefore mercifully ordained that we may become aged together. And she said with him, a month.
So this is talking about, this is Tobit's son Tobias taking him a wife, Sarah, of his father's household. Go to Tobit 7, 3-5 to show that.
The book of Tobit.
So he called Sarah in this story, his new wife, he called her his sister. The same way we've seen with Isaac, same way we've seen with Abraham. All these women of the same lineage are being called sister. You do not have to be of the same parents to be a sister or brother. Ain't we all supposed to be sisters, brothers? They've been talking like that. They've been talking like that. So no, he wasn't having incest, and no, he wasn't lying. It wasn't a lie he told Pharaoh, it was the truth. He just told him like this. But Pharaoh and these heathen, they're not thinking like that. All they're thinking about is getting some box. That's it. Go ahead, read that.
The book of Tobit, chapter 7, 3-5. And Reguel asked them, from whence are ye brethren? To whom they said, we are of the sons of...
Raguel is the father of his new wife, Sarai. Go ahead.
We are the sons of Naphtali, which are captives in Nineveh. Then he said to them, do ye know Tobit, our kinsman? And they said, we know him. Then said he, is he in good health? And they said, he is both alive and in good health. And Tobias said, he is my father. And it came to pass.
See that's back to Genesis. So we see that's a thing. That's a thing. Calling your woman that's of your same nationality your sister. That's exactly what Abraham did in this case. Back to Genesis chapter 12, verse 14.
The book of Genesis chapter 12, verse 14. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, The Egyptians beheld the woman that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated.
Read that again.
The princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house.
So she was taken in his house. I mean, she obeyed what he said. And because he said, she said that, Pharaoh did what? He tried to take her to wife, just like Abraham thought they would. But now, instead of killing him, they're leaving him alone. So she obeyed his request, and that's showing what? That's showing 1 Peter 3, 1-6. She was submissive. She wasn't talking back. She wasn't what's it called? Questioning his direction. She wasn't confrontational, questioning his judgment. She was submissive. Read that. She was in subjection.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 3, 1-6. Likewise, you wives be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
Mm-hmm.
While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is the sight of Yahweh of great price.
Mm-hmm.
For after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also, who trusted in Yahweh, adorned themselves,
Mm-hmm.
being in subjection unto their own husbands.
Being in subjection to their own husbands, being quiet, having a meek spirit. This is the example that the women's supposed to be following today. But you got women that's even so-called believers, so-called in the truth,
Mm-hmm.
that they do a lot of this, a lot of blah, 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 blah. A lot of questioning, acting like they know better,
Demon in the head, right?
even being what's it called? Down in their men, calling them names, being disrespectful. Like when you're told to do something, there shouldn't be no type of argument about it.
Calm.
That's the commandment that was given as soon as Eve ate the apple, like the world says. Yeah, she ate the apple. Then the Most High said, which we know wasn't an apple. Then the Most High said what? That the woman is to be in subjection, and he shall rule over you. But Eve will go to work and not question their boss at all. Yes, sir, master, but come home. What you mean, nigga? Yes, sir, master at work. What you mean, nigga, at home?
Not even at home, even at work. Like she'll be treating the white boss fair and being submissive to him, and then you, her brother, she talking to you all type of ways, and you, her brother.
Coffee's ready, Mr.
You're an idiot.
Okay.
You're an idiot. You dumb as hell. That don't make no sense.
Yep. Asking a question, don't you know?
Or you don't. I don't need you to this, that, and the third. You don't know what you need. If you knew what you needed, the Most High would have never said that you got to be in subjection to a man. A man that's used to walk around and operate the way we see in the world. He still said, you're in subjection to him. Look at Nabal. Nabal was an actual idiot. His name means fool. But Abigail was what? In subjection to that fool. So these women, man, they got something coming if they think they're going to continue to act and carry themselves the way they do, and they call themselves in the truth. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Shalom. Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters.
I ain't got no husband, so ain't no men my leaders. It don't say that in other verses. It say that the head of the woman is the man. It don't necessarily say the husband. It say the man. So the men is leaders of this congregation. It said the Lord of hosts, let us set men over the congregation so they're not as sheeps without a shepherd. So the men is the leader.
Look,
I had a sister tell me that earlier this week. Oh, I don't got to break no bread with no men. I don't have no husband. No, the men is the leaders. We the ones who we go through this. We divide this rightfully, and we come back to you, and we are the leaders in the community. It's time for us to take that back, especially as Judea says our Gates language. That means that our leadership is lacking. So it's only right that we take back the leadership as men. It also say that children are the oppressor and women rule over them. That's the turn of things upside down. So it's only right that we take back the leadership, but you don't want men to be your leaders. That's how Esau wants you to think. So they can continue to rule over top of us.
Listen, if women were equipped to know more than men, were equipped to not need a man. I don't have a husband. I'm on my own. I don't gotta answer nobody. I don't need advice from no man. Can't no man tell me what I need. I'm INDEPENT. Right? If that's how it was supposed to be, why would we find in Numbers 30, verse 1-3? Read that. Why would we find this? Why would this need to be instituted as a law from Yahweh if he had equipped women to do all, be Miss Independent? Not need a man. Long as if you don't got a husband, you don't need a man. But what about your father? Oh, the reason why you're so unruly, the reason why you're so disrespectful is because you already was that with your father.
Yep.
You was already that with your father at home.
Right.
That's how you got to being single and independent when I met you.
Not to put it all on the sisters, but it's the father's fault because you are the first teacher of your household. It's your fault your daughter is disrespectful because you didn't teach her how to respect the man. That's why you have to be there as a father to teach your daughter how to be respectful.
And that's true. That's 100% true. But at the same time, you're still accountable because here's the thing. You still once was a child. That's the problem.
It's true.
Everybody was once a child and come up and decide long before they was unruly as adults and not taking any order as adults that I don't gotta hear what they gotta say. Talking about my parents, the God gave me. Like you're accountable. You was accountable when you was a child, even though your dad didn't know the Bible. 9 times out of 10, your dad was telling you not to do what you was running the streets and doing, but you was like, I'm gonna do it anyway. I like that nigga real. And I like that he got money. I don't care if he sells weed. I don't care if he sells drugs. I love that he's in gang. And your pops the whole time is telling you, nah, you don't need that. You need to stay at home. You're not allowed to date him. You're not allowed to go out with your friend outside past the lights coming on.
You ain't going outside dressed like that. You ain't going outside dressed like that. And you can see the difference from when we was growing up and it was more fathers in the household. Because I remember like a woman couldn't even go outside with leggings. You know what I mean? I remember seeing a woman beat her daughter down the street because she came outside in leggings back in the day. You wore this outside? You know what I mean? What are you doing? You know what I mean? And you already know this from having your parents in the household, your father and mother, not to do this. And now you got grandmothers outside in the leggings. And then you see the difference is babies raising babies because grandma's 45, mom's 30, and then the granddaughter 15, and then she's 15 and pregnant like MTV.
Falling away.
Yeah.
Like you should not need the Bible.
And no father around. I've seen it like that in the projects, just like that. 45, 30, 15, and pregnant. And you're all in the same projects, so thinking that's the way to do things.
You should not need the Bible to know. You should not need the Bible to tell you to obey your parents, not to disrespect your parents, to listen to your parents, Because before you ever read the Bible, they the ones that fed you, they the ones that made sure you was straight, and you underneath of their guidance, you was always good. It wasn't until you went off that shit started to hit the fan. But now you get into the Bible and you find out you were supposed to be doing that the whole time, and you still like, nah, nigga. Shalom, brother. Come into class, shalom, brother, and going home and nah, nigga. With the Bible, and you shouldn't even have needed the Bible to not have already been on that. You should already, but we know that's the curse. That's part of the fact that in the past we said to hell with the Most High in His word. So that's where we find ourselves now. But sisters would come into the truth, and now they found out, oh wait, I'm supposed to be operating this way. Well, I'll just do it in front of everybody else.
That's the Jezebel spirit.
But go home. That's the Jezebel spirit. But go home and the hell with all that. I'll put on the show. I'll paint my face like Jezebel. Right? Read this. Why, if that's how you was made, if that was what was for you, why would the Most High Yahweh that created your prideful, emotional ass? Why would He say this? Why would this be a law?
Where's this?
Oh, so like in Numbers 30, verse 1.
The book of Numbers, chapter 30, verse 1. And Moses spoke unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, this is the thing which Yahweh hath commanded. If a man vow unto Yahweh, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. If a woman...
Oh, so we're moving straight to women. So that's all the Most I said about a man. You vow, you're going to pay your vow. Nobody's there to check and make sure and disavow it and give you permission. Nobody's there. Now the woman. Go ahead. Salaki.
If a woman also vow unto Yahweh and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth.
Mm-hmm. So before being with a man, her first man, her father. Go ahead.
And her father hear her vow and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her. Then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. And Yahweh shall forgive her because her father disallowed her.
Wow. You can't even make a vow to God without it being okayed by your father.
Yep. Oh, it gets better than that.
Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That shows the importance of a man being over a woman.
And a woman being a physical.
That also shows that a woman, she'll make some vows that, first off, just off of a whim. Because a woman will operate off her emotions. She'll just, I feel it and I want something. And hey, if you give me this, God, I'll do this, that, and third, without taking a second thought about it. And then the next day be like, oh, I don't know about that. That's why. Women were are emotional creatures. Like it was said best when that movie said, I'm going to call y'all unstable creatures because you're emotional. Women are emotional. Then women don't have the same capacity when it comes to reasoning, right?
This next verse, this is actually called controversy in the household with a woman I was dealing with. Go this next one.
Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna move on to a husband. So the father can X out your vow or allow your vow to God, like Christians say, to God. Pops, yeah, pops can be like, you're not doing that. No, I don't think so. Go back to your room. Go tend this, go do laundry, go fold the clothes, but we ain't doing that. Now the husband.
And if she, verse 6, and if she had at all an husband, when she vowed or uttered out her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and he held his peace at her in that day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and Yahweh shall forgive her.
Mm-hmm.
But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced.
Are these good things?
Yes.
Being a widow and divorced? It's like I'm talking about this. Right, I know. Those are good things. A lot of women they're gonna say, no, it ain't.
Nope. Because she married to Yahweh.
Y'all ain't reading that right. You ain't reading that right. It's pretty damn plain to me. It sounds very simple. We need to get the NIV, the NLT. They're gonna say the same thing. Like, this is very straight to the point. But I'm talking about these things. Is it a good thing to be a widow? Is it good to be divorced? Those not. But okay, now we're gonna see what it says about them. Go ahead. What's up?
On your earlier statement, it's a lot of the Jake women that they see the submission, but they don't see the accountability of the husband. They don't see the accountability of the father. That there's an accountability. He's going to be held accountable for her and for covering her. So she has a security blanket that she wrestles against. Like we fight against the Most High with our rebellion, then you're looking at that same dynamic play out with the father prior to her giving consent to move forward, and then the husband, who's that power is transferred to with that consent. Just as the Lord is looking on high and covering her with her wings, this is showing her resistance and rebellion.
Absolutely. Because our women don't believe that they had to be covered by no man. Like I just said, they believe that they married to Yahweh, and it's not all women. It's women. It's
majority.
In the truth.
It's just majority.
And it's a lot of them.
Not all. It's majority. Right. Go ahead. I was just saying, it ain't all. It's majority.
Yeah.
So there's a select few. But it's very few, because what did Solomon say? Solomon said he ain't find none of 1,000.
Yeah, that's what we were just discussing.
That means it takes like probably 100,000 to find one. But out of 1,000, you ain't finding it. So these are the two things though right here. They ain't good. And this is where we're gonna see that it changes up. But that ain't for the better. Go ahead.
Verse 9, but every vow of a widow and her that is divorced wherewith they have bound their souls shall stand against her. And if she vowed,
so if you have to be a widow or divorced to even make a vow that stands without the permission of your husband or your father. Go ahead.
And if she vowed in her husband's house or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
Okay. And all praise to the Most High for that. All praises.
Next question.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, just in case people out there don't know what a vow is or how to demonstrate to make a vow, can you demonstrate how it is?
I'll demonstrate. So you praying and you like, I'm down and out. I'm living in a shelter. Yahweh, if you could just give me a house, provide me with a home, a roof over my head, and change my circumstances. I promise that I'm gonna dedicate myself tenfold. I'm gonna go to class every at least 3 times a week. I'm gonna drop all my sins. That's a vow. Now you said it, and you expect something, and you promise something in return. That you've made a vow. Now you have to pay that vow. You have to come to class 3 times a week, and ain't no weekdays off because you didn't say any days off. You said if you get this house, you're gonna come 3 days a week. That's why Christ said, "Don't better to not make a vow." Just let your yea be yea, your nay be nay. So yeah, you decide in yourself that, okay, I need to dedicate myself more. I'm going to try to come every day. But then when you don't and you can't make it, you didn't make a vow to.
And to extend on that, brother, just as Israel made that commitment under the first covenant with the Most High, that we vow to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Exactly.
And the tragedy that came after it, as well as when we see when Christ, Yahushua, was put on the cross, and it says, "Let His blood be upon him and our children."
Sure.
We're looking at those vows.
Yeah,
Right.
we are looking at those
Also,
vows.
Yeah,
So we got to pay those vows.
right.
And there's no going back negotiating I forgot and all that.
Nah, that's
Ain't no
why.
forgot
That's
we catching
why.
the ass whooping.
Right. That's why he said anybody that puts his hand to the plow and turns back is what? He said if you turn back, what? There's no coming back.
salvation, right,
Yeah.
for you, right.
There ain't no coming back from that.
And you see the Most High too putting out a provision or protective law for His daughter, because where Eve missed in her act of being liberal, that the Lord is trying to put a bit inside of the daughters of Zion, that these are preventative measures as a special protection or divine love, but she wrestles against it.
Yeah,
right?
she don't see it that
She
way.
don't see it that way. Yeah.
That's
It's
because
a part of the curses too. Like she got hate towards your brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's supposed to be delicate and tender. Don't want to be delicate and tender.
Sure.
Don't want to be submissive. Don't want to be that woman who wouldn't dare set her foot on the ground. Don't want to be there.
Big girl.
Want to put her foot all over you.
Uh-huh.
yeah. So all right, we can go back. Oh, Genesis,
Yeah, no.
verse 16.
2016.
We're back at the regular reading,
12,
chapter 12 and 16.
I'm starting 15. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her for Pharaoh, and the woman was taken in Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abram well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen and he asses, and men servants and maid servants, and she asses and camels. And Yahweh plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, "What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy
and
wife?"
real quick, so he plagued Pharaoh. He gave Pharaoh plagues. So that means this wasn't a one-day thing. This is something that was going on. They was there for a certain amount of time for him to plague Pharaoh's house. Go ahead.
Why saidst thou, she is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore, behold, thy wife, take her and go thy way.
So she was probably with the eunuch somewhere. You know how like in Esther, they had the women. They always get the women and they keep them apart for cleansing and stuff for some time.
Right.
So this is probably where Sarah was at. He wanted to make her wife, so she was going through that process of getting right to be his wife. So and during this time, the Most High is doing what? Plaguing him. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife and all that he had.
So the Most High, he rose up for Abraham. Proverbs 16:7.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 7. When a man's ways please Yahweh, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with
So
him.
that's what the Most High does. When your ways please the Most High, things like this happen. Things like what we see with Abraham happens. For Exodus 14:14.
The book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. Yahweh shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace.
That's why Abraham, he had the plan already set out. He knew it was going to happen. He said, "Listen, tell him you're my sister. He's going to take you, blah, blah." And he just fell back and let the Most High do the work. Because Abraham was the what? The father of what? Faith. So he just sat back, held his peace. He knew that the Most High was going to work for him. And if he didn't, then it's of the will of the Most High. That's the mind state Abraham had. From there, real quick, let's jump to Antiquities again. Same chapter, verse 165, and read the highlighted part. Verse 165, start the highlighted part.
The
Talking
book of,
about this situation we're reading now. So Pharaoh blessed him with presents and things like that and gave him his wife back. Go ahead.
the book of the Antiquities of Josephus, book 1, chapter 6, verse 167, 65,
165.
middle verse.
Mhm.
He also made him a large present in money
Talking about Pharaoh. All right.
and gave him leave to enter into conversation with the most learned among the Egyptians.
So he's seen Abraham, how the Most High is blessing him and his wisdom. He said he gave him leave to go deal with the most learned of the Egyptians. Read.
From which conversation his virtue and his reputation became more conspicuous than they had been before. For whereas the Egyptians
Hold on. His virtue and his reputation became more conspicuous than they had been before. Oh, so he's shining right now. His wisdom is being shown through his discourses. Go ahead.
For whereas the Egyptians were formerly addicted to different customs and despised
Hold on. Go ahead.
one another's sacred and accustomed rites, and were very angry one with another on the account Abram conferred with each of them, and confuting the reasonings, they made use of every one for their own practices, demonstrated that such reasoning were vain and void of truth.
But I thought Egypt was like the cradle of civilization. That's where all the knowledge comes through, and you know how great Kemet is. What happened to that? Abraham went down there and he confounded everything that they had going on. He's confounding everything that they got, all the wisdom they got, all the learnings they got. But Kemet, what's Kemet going to tell you? What's the Egyptologist going to tell you?
They're gonna tell you lies.
They're going to tell you lies, but what do they say about it, though?
You're going to say they pertain to knowledge. They had the knowledge of everything.
Right.
And you're going to see from time to time, people with the Abrahamic covenant, they're going to be going and confounding the Egyptians and teaching the Egyptians.
Keep reading. But it said he demonstrated that the reasonings they had were vain and void of truth, meaning everything that they had going on was garbage. It's always been garbage. Keep going.
Verse 167, whereupon he was admired by them in those conferences as a very wise man and one of great sagacity.
What's that mean? Let me look up real quick. Sagacity. I lost it. Oh, see, I think. Sagacity, the quality of being. Here we go again. The quality of being sagacious. God. Having or showing keen mental discernment and good judgment. So this is Abraham. He's walking around with the wisdom of the Most High. That's exactly what the Bible says that the wisdom does. So even they see this through talking to Abraham. Go ahead. And then all their stuff is BS and garbage. That's what they seen with Abraham coming down. Before that, they had nothing. Cradle of civilization and the wisdom and knowledge, all that BS garbage, lies. Go ahead.
Whereupon he was admired by them in those conferences as a very wise man and one of great sagacity. When he discoursed on any subject he undertook, and this not only in understanding it, but in persuading other men also to assent to him. He communicated to them arithmetic.
Oh, who taught him arithmetic? Ain't the Egyptians known for their all their knowledge, arithmetic, all these things? Who taught them arithmetic? Abraham taught them arithmetic. Go ahead.
And delivered to them the science of astronomy.
Oh, they know everything about the stars. Who taught them about the stars? Abraham taught them. Oh, Abraham taught them the truth of it. Go ahead.
and delivered to them the science of astronomy. For before Abram came into Egypt, they were unacquainted with those parts of learning.
They ain't know nothing. They ain't know none of that. They didn't know that till Abraham.
Yeah.
Esau might tell you something different, and the silly, stupid Negro might tell you something different. Talking about, oh, Hotep, nigga. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when that was brought to them, it was confounded. They didn't even want to talk. We didn't want to deal with the Hebrew no more. After they brought that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And time
He was
and time-
confounding.
We see it time and time again. We see it with Joseph. We see it with Shadrach, Meshach,
Mhm.
and Abednego. We see that time and time again when they came upon these people.
Right.
That the scholarship, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all of that was given to Israel.
Mhm. Always coming in out outshining them,
Supersede them.
superseding them.
Yeah,
Always.
you even see it if you bring it up even to the 1950s. George Washington Carver had knowledge that superseded any college professor at that time, especially to deal with mechanics or anything like that. The Forge bought his technology and he never used it. You know what I mean? He knew how to do like 1,000 things with a peanut, and they still got the technology and they ain't bring forth nothing. And they could reduce the carbon imprint and all that stuff, and they ain't doing it. I'll show you how wicked they are.
Yeah. And in the very way that Esau and this right here, great mystery whore of Babylon, steal the ingenuity of the Most High to his people, Egypt is a precursor.
Mhm.
Exactly. And we're gonna see that.
Let alone that you see these other civilizations, and they had Jake in these civilizations, and they was running the technology. This is the only country, this captivity, where they polluting everything. You know what I mean? It's really taking its toll on the environment. This society right here. You never hear anywhere else where Jake lived or anything that was causing pollution to anywhere in any other society, but this one right here. You don't see it.
Go ahead.
For before Abram came into Egypt, they were unacquainted with those parts of learning, for that science came from the Chaldeans.
That's talking about Abraham. The Chaldeans, that's where he came from. Go ahead.
Into Egypt, and from thence to the Greeks
So
also.
the same thing for the Greeks. They so great. Got so much wisdom. Yeah, the Renaissance. That it all came from Abraham. It all came from us.
That for patents.
Hmm?
That for patents.
That's the
Yeah,
past.
absolutely.
All of it.
Oh, they did that countless. The book of Genesis, chapter 13, verse 1. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journey from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar which he made there at the first. And there Abraham called on the name of Yahweh. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdsmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere from the Lord, Salaka, before Yahweh destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of Yahweh, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar.
Go ahead.
Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves, the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, And Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before Yahweh exceedingly.
Mhm.
And Yahweh said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes and look from the place where thou art northward, and southward, and eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever.
Yeah, so the question is, who is thy seed? Who is thy seed that would get all this land? Because we know Abraham had many sons. Deuteronomy 34, right? Israel. Deuteronomy 34, 1-4. But the world and Christianity and Islam and whoever, they're going to say, well, Abraham, it was promised to his seed that all this land would be his. So he had the Ishmaelites, the Edomites, the Elamites. Did the Elamites come from Abraham?
The Elam, yeah.
No, they came from Shem.
No, Elamite came from it came from Abraham.
Okay. Elam. Hey, seed of Abraham. But who's going to dictate what he's talking about with the seed? The Most High. Deuteronomy 34, 1-4.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 34, 1-4. And Moses went up from the plains of Moab unto the mountain of Nebo, to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho. And the Lord showed himself all the land of Gilead unto Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim, and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah, unto the utmost sea, and the south.
No, and real quick, if anybody ever needs it, I can, obviously I got it documented, but everybody, y'all should be writing this in your Bible, like right under there. If y'all, you got a pen, that way you can always, if you need to go to it, it's already there. You don't got to try to fumble and find it or think of it. That's the point of bringing these out, is that it can be marked and you can write it down some way or somehow. But either way, if anybody needs it, I can definitely get it back to you. But if you're online or here in class, if you can, write these precepts down in right underneath the scripture, because then it'll be there anytime, wherever you at. You're having a conversation with your peoples, your kids, whatever. It's right there. It's right there, and you can go straight to it and show, like right here. Oh, Abraham's seed. Okay. Well, the Bible's going to dictate who that seed is. We already went through from the beginning. You see that chosen seed from the beginning. But when you get here, he gets that promise. Okay, we can go straight, jump ahead, and we can find that seed. What does it mean, that seed? We can go to Romans 9 and 7. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 2. And all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah unto the utmost sea, in the south, in the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, unto Zoar. And and Yahweh said unto him, this is the land which I swear unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob.
Who's missing? Ishmael, the rest of his son, Abraham's sons is missing. Isaac's son Esau is missing. So thy seed, this is thy seed. After Abraham, it went down to one of his sons out of however many he had. He had like 4 at least. Yeah, 8 sons. Out of 8, it went to Isaac. That's the seed. Go ahead. The seed of the promise.
And unto Jacob.
This is that promise. Go ahead.
And unto Jacob, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes, but thou shalt not go over thither.
And this is also a precept you can go with the seed of the promise. You can precept those together. Back to Genesis.
That's Genesis 17, 19.
Mm-hmm. But the promises are for Israel. This is one you can go to. You can go here to Genesis and Deuteronomy, the promises. and showed it. Here it is in the law. Here it is in the Torah. Go ahead, verse
Book of
16.
Genesis chapter 13, verse 16. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered.
Mhm.
Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto Yahweh.
Mhm.
The book of Genesis,
Chapter 14.
chapter 14. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam,
So yeah, Elam is the son of Shem, not Abraham.
and Tidal, king of nations,
Go ahead.
that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and Bishra, king of Gomorrah,
Mhm.
Shenob, king of Admah, and
Mhm.
Shemember, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the valley of Siddim, which is the salt sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled.
Mhm.
And in the 14th year of Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims in Ashtaroth Karnaim, and the Zuzims in Had, and the Emims in Shaver Kiriathaim, and the Horites in their Mount Seir, unto Alparan, which is by the wilderness. And they returned,
I just lost it. What number we at?
verse
For me,
7.
Verse 7. All right.
And they returned and came to En Mishpat, which is in Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwelt in Hazazotamar. And then went out of the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela. The same is Zoar. And they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim, with Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, and with Tidal, king of nations, and Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, for 4 kings with 5. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits. And the king of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled in the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their victuals, and went their way. And they took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped, and told Abraham the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Meribah, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner. And these were confederate with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them, he and the servants, by night, and smote them, and pursued them, and unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he bought back all the goods, and also bought again his brother Lot and his goods, and the women also, and the people.
So what we see here, not only was Abraham wise, but he wasn't no joke. Abraham was a mighty man. The Most High, he didn't just give him wisdom; he gave him the ability to war with his hands. He also gave him with the wisdom strategy. What did it say? He came by night. What's that? What's that called when you sneak in by night?
Keep the night.
Nah, and like military tactics.
Oh, guerrilla warfare?
All those things, but I
Yeah.
thought there was like a specific term for it, but
He cloaked. He was cloaked in.
that ain't it. But yeah, it's true though. But I'm thinking of something, but
Is
it's
it
skipping my
camouflage?
mind. Nah,
Incognito?
camouflage is either way. He's performing a raid though, midnight raid. Like he's using wisdom. He's coming in while everybody sleep,
He came in stealth.
coming in stealth. Same way, like
The original ninja.
the original ninja before Barack Obama was sitting back in the White House sending his A-team in to get Obama in the middle of the night. Abraham was doing it himself. He wasn't sitting back, wait in a tent somewhere, directing the troops. He was in that thing. He was directing the troops hand on in the mix. So yeah, Abraham wasn't no punk. He wasn't. All these ideas that Christianity is taught. When you get into the Bible, it's like, what are y'all reading? Well, they're not. But it's like, what? But you can't get it. We're so blind that a Negro, you don't want to open the book. We're just gonna believe what Esau said and run with it, and what the pastor said, and the whole time. Yeah, and the whole time, like everything that's being taught, all the doctrines and philosophies and beliefs about the men of God and our people in antiquity, it's all totally opposite from what we sitting in these churches and mosques and eating the BS and lies. It's 100% flip from what they teach.
Abraham knew that the Lord was a man of war.
Yeah, Abraham knew the Lord was a man of war. So he went in there and he did all these things. And listen, he had 200 and some people. So before the 300, you had Abraham. Before the 300, you had Gideon. That's what the being cleaving to the Most High and truly faithful and truly following Yahweh. This is the power that He gives. Right? Keep going.
Verse 17. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer and of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh,
And the king, 17.
which is the Kingsdale. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abraham of the Most High, God, possessor of heaven and earth.
Mm-hmm.
And blessed be the Most High Yahweh,
Mm-hmm.
which have delivered thine enemies into thy hand. And he gave him tithes of all.
So he can't. So this is Abraham get tied in Melchizedek. Melchizedek, the king of Salem, and priest of the Most High God. But who was Melchizedek? Who is this Melchizedek that we're reading about all the way back here in Genesis, the first book of the Bible?
Some say Yahweh.
Some say the Hawashah, and that they would be right, because let's get it. Hebrews 7:1-10.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 7, 1-10.
Also note, Melchizedek came out and he brought him bread and water. He just came out to give Abraham no food. We're going to see even there's more to that than just bringing out some food, because he's hungry now. He just raided the over. Look, I'm sure he got bread and water in the spoilage. So, remember, he also came with bread and water. Go ahead.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 7, 1-10. For this Melchizedek, king of Salem, priest of the Most High Yahweh, who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings and blessed him,
Mm-hmm.
to whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all his being by interpretation,
First
king
being
of righteousness.
by interpretation, king of righteousness. Who's the king of righteousness? Yahawashai. Go ahead, keep going.
And after that, also king of Salem,
Mm-hmm.
which is king of peace,
Mm-hmm.
without father,
Mm-hmm.
without mother,
Mm-hmm.
without descent,
Mm-hmm.
having neither beginning of days
Mhm.
nor end of life,
Go ahead.
but made like unto the son of Yahweh, abideth a priest continually.
Who's the son of Yahweh? Yahushua. So Yahushua been in the Bible. Yahushua been in the mix. Keep going.
4.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for it to scroll up. I'm sorry. Now consider how great the man was unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the tenth of the spoils. And verily, they that are of the sons of Levi, who receive the office of the priesthood, have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law, that is, of their brethren, through they come out of the loins of Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
But he whose descent is not counted from them received tithes of Abraham and blessed him and had the promises.
He whose descent is not of Levi is the priest now. Yahushua, because he's of the tribe of Judah. And he whose descent is not counted from Levi received tithes of Abraham. Go ahead.
And without contradiction, the less is blessed
And bless
of
him.
other.
Hold on.
Oh, Salakia. But he whose descent is not counted from them received tithes of Abraham and blessed him that had the promises. And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better. And here men that die receive tithes, but there he received them, of whom it is witness that he lived. And as I may so say, Levi also, who received tithes, paid tithes.
Also, who's a witness that he liveth? Yahushua. Yahushua died, but we know he ain't dead. The Maccabees Memphis got the song, he ain't dead,
Christ
he ain't
ain't
dead.
dead.
Christ ain't dead, Christ ain't dead.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Christ was witness that he liveth. Go ahead.
And as I may so say, Levi also, who received tithes, paid tithes in Abraham, for he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him.
Okay, back to Genesis.
The book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 21. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, give me the persons and take the goods to thyself.
Mm-hmm.
And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto Yahweh, the most high power, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I may not take from a thread even to shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, unless thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich,
Mm-hmm.
save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Marmeh, let them take their portion.
Yeah, so Abraham wasn't worried about nothing that the king of Sodom could give him, because king of Sodom just gonna think, then he gonna use that and say, yeah, I bless you. But Abraham's like, Most High already blessed me. The Most High made this thing happen. He gave me strength. He led me in through the night to do what I did. And he been blessing me all this time. I don't need what you got. Just go ahead and give to these men.
Trying to pull an IOU card on.
So he also shows that he wasn't taking no gifts either. And yeah, that's he trying to pull an IOU. He got that wisdom. Like, I know what can come of this. You can go ahead and keep that. Because I got who? I got Yahweh. I got Yahweh. I don't need nothing that you got to give me.
And you see that Abraham wanted to pay the tithe one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why the churches keep asking for tithes every week?
They want every week. We already know to follow that. Because they damn demons. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
But Abraham,
right here, it's only recorded one time he did it.
mm-hmm. Abraham, he didn't need what the king of Sodom had to give. And just think about that. How many people in the truth is out there not trying to risk losing their job over something simple as like fringes? I saw a video. Dude was like, I was going off wearing fringes to work. I lost my job. Like
my friends to work boldly.
Yeah.
You got to make a choice. Is who's blessing you? Are you out for the blessing from Yahweh? Are you out for Yahweh to provide for us? Or are we out for the world to provide for us? Like a job is going to make you hide your fringes, pretend to be somebody else.
Man, when
It's
you at
one
work,
thing.
it's a lot.
It's one thing if you got a uniform. Go ahead.
When you're at work and you got your fringes on and you see other people going on, man, and then you just be able to touch your fringes and grab them, you be like, man, these people are wicked, man. You can't no way be a part of this thing, man. You just look at it like that. You just grab on your fringes, man. These people trying to trigger you, you know what I mean, and stop you from being triggered by your brothers and everything, just having your fringes. So he going off saying that you shouldn't wear your fringes to work, man. And then sometimes this might be too far up under my apron. I wear the tassel too. I grab the tassel and I grab a hold of this, and you got this wrapped around your hand. You're like, man, you need to relax for a minute, man. You know?
Con, this is also part of the rethinking of the modern day Israel. Where it says Jacob Morris at the gates thereof language, if our politicians, if our so-called Negro leadership did as our father Abraham, we rethought ourselves and our behavior was like this, Israel would be in a better condition.
Absolutely.
Because we won't make those contracts with Esau.
Yeah.
Shame our people and mock our people.
Yeah.
Hold our tongue when there's a time that justice is speak in behalf of our people.
Yeah.
Yep.
They wouldn't have made no covenant with them.
God, exactly.
Especially when you're making a modern day covenant with Sodom and Gomorrah. Because it's just like Al Sharpton. You making a modern day covenant with Sodom and Gomorrah. You speaking up like that's the civil rights movement. That's not what you're supposed to be standing for. You putting a lifestyle before the life of your brethren, your actual life of your nationhood. Right. These people is not a nation. They represent an action. Right. Yeah, I mean, so that's the folly with that too. And it's the same Sodom and Gomorrah.
And you see them call some of our brothers who fail to not take his gift, being called back and mocked before the nations.
Yeah.
Apologize and take a sensitivity class and all of this for this so-called devil that they've made an alliance with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even Judas, he couldn't even stand himself. Like you can go all the way back to Judas. Judas got them shekels and then he getting mocked and they laughing at you. You took 30 shekels to sell out the Messiah. Like how stupid could you be? Yeah, I mean, just imagine how he felt to after he did that.
But now we're in a different generation where there is no shame.
Nah.
These brothers can do what they want to do and make alliances with our enemies and persecute.
Yeah.
And have no shame at all.
Yep. They want to do exercises the heathen do. Yeah. They are right with America.
Man,
you see what dude shirt said? America for Jesus.
Yeah.
This dude shirt said today. I gave him a flyer. He's gonna come give us a flyer with white Jesus on it, and he thought it was funny.
That was today?
That was today, yeah. Remember the same dudes? I remember they was on that corner. I told you we should get out and talk to him.
Which corner?
Remember we was pulling out and they was on Broad Street by Family Dollar. I was like, man, we need to get out and talk to them one day. They ain't had no tent today. They was just out there holding a sign saying,
it was Negro.
Jesus loves, yeah.
With a buckwheat smile.
Yeah, it was a white Jesus flyer.
Yeah, but what's that show? That just shows the times we in, right?
Yeah, but they thought it was okay too, and that's just what he had too. The best you described it the best way. He had a buckwheat smile. Oh, this okay.
Mm-hmm. Go to 2nd Ezra 5:1. This is what's become of our people, and like you were saying about our leaders, right? Our leaders go do all this dancing for Esau just to get crumbs from Esau, but ain't looking to the Most High to provide. Choosing the heathens over the Most High, and out teaching us lies and trying to leading our people in destruction, because they don't got faith for the Most High to even be in that position. But this is why. 2nd Ezra 5:1.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Mm-hmm. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago.
And that's exactly why. That's why the leadership is doing all those things he was talking about. They don't have faith in the way of truth has been hidden. So instead of rejecting the what Sodom has to give, they out here trying to get what Sodom has. They trying to partake of the gifts that Sodom has. Totally forgotten that the Most High will provide if you bring the people back to keeping the commandments.
Come.
We can go back. Unless we got something else.
No, you good.
All right. 15:1.
The book of Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. After these things, the word of Yahweh came unto Abram in the vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward.
So what made Abraham so special for Yahweh to declare this? Sirach 24:19. He declared, Abraham, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward.
The book of Sirach, chapter 24, verse 19. Come unto me, all ye that be desirous of me, and fill yourselves with my fruits. For my memorial is sweeter than honey, and mine inheritance than the honeycomb. They that eat me shall yet be hungry, and they that drink me shall yet be thirsty. And
Genesis 14:18.
The book of Genesis 14.
That's why I said, remember, Melchizedek came with what? Bread and water. So Sirach said, those that are desirous of me, Abraham was desirous of the Most High. Abraham saw what was going on back in Ur and was like, this ain't it. Abraham from before, he was looking for the truth. Abraham was looking for the living God. So it said, those that desirous of me will fill yourselves with my fruits. They that eat me shall yet be hungry, and they that drink me shall yet be thirsty. So back to Genesis 14:18.
The book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High Yahweh.
Melchizedek brought the bread and wine. Back to 22, verse 22.
Verse 22, he that obeyeth me shall never be confounded, and they that work by me shall not do amiss. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High Yahweh, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage unto the congregations of Jacob. Faint not, be strong in Yahweh, that he may confirm you. Cleave unto him, for Yahweh Almighty is power alone, and beside him there is no other Savior.
So this is what made Abraham so special. And this is why Melchizedek brought him the bread and wine, showing that he was filling Abraham with what he was hungry for. He was filling him with what he was thirsty for. And that was the covenant of the Most High God he was giving him. The law which Moses commanded, the wisdom and understanding. And also, now that's why I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. Because Abraham was desiring to do thy will, O Yahweh. Back in Genesis.
Book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 2. And Abram said to Yahweh the power, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus? And Abram said, behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, this shall not be thine heir, but he that shall come forth out of thine own bowels shall be thine heir.
Hold that. Now we're going back to where we went before. Hebrews, we went to 7, 1 to 10, now 9 and 10. Showing what it means to come of your bowels. And the seed being of who? Your father. Quick precept for that. Go ahead.
Hebrews 7, 9 and 10. And as I may so say, Levi also, who receiveth tithes, paid tithes and Abraham, for he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him.
So that shows what's the seed of the father? A seed of his own bowels shall be thine heir. So that goes on to Christ as well. That's a precept you can put with Christ not being born with no father. Back to Genesis.
The book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 5. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. And he believed in Yahweh, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am Yahweh.
Wait. Verse 6 again.
And he believed in Yahweh, and he counted it to him for righteousness.
Hebrews 11, 1-9.
The book of the Hebrews 11, 1-9. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith Abel offered unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain.
By faith Abel did what?
Abel offered unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain.
But it's about faith, not works.
But by faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice.
What comes with believing God, having faith in Yahweh?
Faith and works prevailing.
Do something, something comes along with that. Your actions show that you got that faith. Go ahead.
By which he obtained witness that he was righteous, Yahweh testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaking. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because Yahweh had translated him. For both his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased Yahweh.
How do you please Yahweh?
Keeping the law, statutes, commandments.
Right. Obedience. Let's get that. I didn't add it, but let's get it. Where are we going to go for that? Who knows?
Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Isaiah 1:11.
All right, you can get that one, but I'm also thinking I wanted 1 Samuel.
1 Samuel.
Oh, yeah.
First Samuel 15:22.
Go ahead, Brito.
Hold on. I thought it was 18, but hold up. No, you're right. Wait. Yeah, but I'm at 16. It's lucky. All right. Where we at?
1 Samuel 15:22.
Go ahead.
And Samuel said, Have the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord.
As in what?
As obeying the voice of the Lord.
Uh-huh.
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams.
So how did Enoch please Yahweh?
Being obedient.
He obedient.
Right.
But you just gotta have faith, brother.
What was the address on that?
You just gotta have faith. Everything.
15:22.
Yeah, I had that for the precept next to that. That's why I asked.
Every person that we're gonna read here, they had faith. They did something behind it. Enoch was translated because he pleased Yahweh. That means he was on a high level of obedience, not high level of disobedience, but I got faith.
Okay, so I got Romans 2:13.
We'll go there. But finish 23 though. Verse 23.
Oh, okay. Verse 23. Solange. First Samuel 15, 23.
Mhm.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
Christianity is what?
Rebellion, witchcraft.
Yeah. Modern day Christianity teaches just have faith. All these apologists teach just have faith. All these Christian scholars or just simple YouTubers or believers or your auntie, your uncle, your grandma, they teach rebellion. They teach witchcraft. Keep going.
And stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry.
Christianity is idolatry and sin. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh, he have also rejected thee from being king.
Michael Todd has been what?
Rejected
From?
being king.
Because the so-called Negro is a what? King of the earth. Nation of kings and priests.
That's right.
Michael Todd has been what again?
Rejected from being king.
T.D. Jakes has been what?
Rejected
From being king.
Because they teach rebellion.
Joe Olski.
Faith, you don't. They teach that if you do the works, you're in sin. You please God by obeying them. They teach you please God by disobeying, by having faith that it's okay if you disobey. That's the faith they teach. It's okay if you disobey. Because Christ came.
The Christians, they teach that they want to worship God the way they want to, but not the way he commands them.
And it also tells you in the scriptures not to do worship God the way that the heathen do it. And then you want to do it according to the way that the heathen do it.
Following Nimrod. Should he go first or you?
All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 11. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices unto me, saith Yahweh? I am full of burnt offerings of rams and the fat of fed beasts, and I delight not in the blood of bullocks or of lambs or of he-goats. When you come to appear before me, who have required this at your hand to tread my courts? Bring no more blamations. Incense is abomination unto me. The new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of assemblies, I cannot away with it. It is iniquity, even the solemn meeting. Your new moons and your appointed feasts, my soul hateth. They are a trouble unto me. I am weary to bear them. And when ye spread forth your hands, I will hide mine eyes from you. Yea, when ye make many prayers, I will not hear. Your hands are full of blood. Wash you, make you clean. Put away the evil of your doings from before my eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do well. Seek judgment. Relieve the oppressed and judge the fatherless. Plead for the widow. Come now and let us reason together, saith Yahweh. Through your sins be as scarlet. They shall be white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. But if you refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword. For the mouth of Yahweh hath spoken it.
Where was that?
That's the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, 11 through 20.
1, 11, 20. Pleasing Yahweh is obedience. Where we at?
We're on Romans 2:11. For there is no respect of persons with Yahweh. For as many have sinned without the law shall also perish without the law. And as many as sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. For not the hearers of the law are just before Yahweh, but the doers of the law shall
What do the Christians say that you need the Old Testament for?
Gone.
What do they say you need the law for?
It's down with it.
No, I'll give you what they say. The law is good, and we still read the Old Testament. It's so that you know what sin is.
Gone.
It's so that you know what sin is. But then you're justified by doing what? If you follow that. If you follow that belief, you're justified by what? You just read it. Being a hearer of the law. Christians just say that because you're moved to ask them, so do you not, what do we do with the Old Testament? We throw that out? Their answer is, oh no, it's so that you're still good. It's so that you know what sin is.
Faith without works.
Yeah. And it's good to hear though. Your precept's perfect because it's good to hear, but not to do. You're justified by by being a hearer of the word, but not a doer. Rebellious, rejecting the instructions of the Most High. Not walking the path of Enoch, not walking the path of Abraham, not walking the path of none of these forefathers that we're reading about that are the examples of faith. That was perfect. We can go back unless somebody got something. Back to Hebrews. Hebrews 11, we was at Enoch, which is verse 5, read verse 6.
Hebrews 11, verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. By faith, Noah being warned of Yahweh.
So part of faith is what? Believing that the instructions matter. Because that's what pleasing him is. So without faith, it's impossible to please him. Without having faith in that I do his instructions, whatever I do will prosper without believing that, which the Christians don't. Islam don't even believe their own, whatever the unholy Quran says, because they'll go to the mosque, then go on the block. They'll go in the mosque and then go kill the ops that was just at the mosque.
Sure, they just literally did that. They just went and shot up the mosque during Ramadan.
Without having faith in what you claiming to follow, it's impossible to please Yahweh. Keep going.
Verse 7. By faith, Noah being warned of Yahweh of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of their righteousness, which is by faith.
Hold up. He condemned the world. He condemned the world.
Yep.
Who says you don't need works by doing what?
Work.
He did something. The Most High told him he's going to destroy the earth and to build an ark, and he moved. Says he moved, not sat, and said, I got faith. Oh, I got faith. Somebody will build it, and the Most High will just lead me there. Somebody else will build the ark. No, he moved. He did works. And then he condemned the world by doing works. Why? Same way we condemn the world by doing what? Obeying, while they say you don't got to obey. They're being condemned while they do this. This is Hebrews 11. So while we're obeying and doing what the Christian church said not to do, while they're telling us not to do it, they're being condemned. Until they repent, they're being condemned. And when that day comes, they die in their sin. That's it for them. Keep going.
By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed. And he went out, not knowing whither he went. Mm-hmm. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise.
Come. It said he obeyed and went out not knowing whither he went. Just like when you decide to obey the Bible and follow the commandments and walk this walk, you don't know when it's going to end. You're basically just walking in faith. I'm going to do until the end. I'm going to endure whatever trials and tribulations come, because I understand that that's the baptism of Christ that the church talks about. That's the being baptized with the Spirit. The Spirit moves you to follow and do works, and fire. Doing those works and staying in the Spirit through trials and tribulations, the trial of fire. The Christian church don't know nothing. The pastor don't know nothing. When they do know, they teach the opposite, because why? They're moved by greed. Greedy dogs,
Dumb dogs.
greedy dumb
Dumb
dogs, shepherds that don't understand.
Salakia, I got more on that.
Mhm.
It says, for when the Romans
Same
2,
chapter.
Yeah, Rome still.
Oh, back to Romans 2. Let me grab it.
Romans 2:14. Okay.
I still got it. Go ahead.
For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves.
Can I give you an example of that real quick?
Fine.
Showing who the Gentiles are. When the Edomites came over here and they found the Indians keeping all these customs, they didn't have the book of the law with them. That's why over the thousands of years, it came watered down, degenerated a little bit. But they still had the fringes with the border blue. They were still keeping the feast that mirrored the feast of the Bible. They were still and the Edomites came over here, the ones they wrote about it, and they saw what they saw. They said, these must be the lost tribes of Israel, because these were Gentiles that were doing the law without the law, doing by nature the things contained in the law. Gentiles being Israelites that don't have that law, but they have the history of it, and they're doing things that's in it. And what he's talking about, the whole time they had the law where? They still had the law in Judea. Just showing Gentiles being Israelites, and you can see that with the northern tribes that was here in America. They had all these customs that were of the law, but they didn't have the law.
Salaki. Columbus wrote back to the Pope about that. He says when he came here, he wrote a letter to the Pope saying that these people, that they follow all the things of the law. He says every man gives until he has not to give. They follow and do all of the things of the law. But if we could just reduce these people down to slavery, then we could prosper from them.
And
says that they do all the things
right.
in the book.
But it was watered down, because at the same time they also did all the sins of the law too. And that's how Columbus succeeded. But it was watered down. Like they would like, I think that some would not eat pork, but then they would eat like rabbit. It would be like things that they eat that you can tell, okay, they've been without that, like what we got. They've been without it, where you can see point by point, and through time they forgot, because they went over there with the intent of what? Second Ezra said, keeping our customs. So through time, like that letter said, they doing all these things in the law, but at the same time, how was he able to succeed? They had fell off. It became watered down. They were doing also all the sins of the law that said they were breaking some laws while keeping laws.
A question for you. Was Levi with them at this time?
Some of them.
Possibly,
Just a portion of them, and the other ones with them.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you would say some of them possible, but for the most part, they during Jeroboam's time, he put out the Levites from Northern Kingdom. That's when the Levites became part of Southern Kingdom, because he put out the Levites so that he could put in whoever basically wanted to be priests. Basically, whoever was going to teach, whoever was going to teach exactly their own ways, the idolatries, to do what they want to do.
I think it was a mixture of the 12.
Yeah, I mean, listen, by the time, think about how much time it went by from the being put out of Israel to leaving the captivity to go over here, right? That was like 700 AD, BC, roughly, right?
Was that
So
Assyrian
now-
captivity?
Yeah.
Right.
So now, bringing up to this time, like Esau just learned about this land. We already had ships.
Mhm.
Remember, not Jeroboam, Solomon, but yeah, so Solomon had ships. It said it was like a 1.5 year trip. It said it was a 3 year trip to go where they went and bring back stuff that you find in the Americas,
Mhm.
right? And then Second Ezra said that the 10 tribes trip from the Euphrates. When they decided to leave, they said it was a trip of 1.5 years. Solomon's was 3 years, 1.5 years plus 1.5 years, 3 years. So we had like that just shows signs that we already knew about the place. So all this time from 700 BC all the way up to when Esau discovered the Americas and claimed to have discovered the new world that was full of people, right? But all that time, yeah, like you got to think. And then they came here 700 BC. Everybody got the final getting put out of Jerusalem happened 70 AD. All this time we had the knowledge of the seas. We left Jerusalem. It had to be some people through time that they knew they was over here, so they came over here. Yeah, they came over here. You gotta
There was trees back and forth.
it's not even logical to not deduce that, to not think that happened.
Another question for you.
Mhm.
Where when Christ says, "We know what we worship, but you know not what you worship,"
Mhm.
is that still in the same vein of the northern tribe or the Samaritan woman? They've been separated from.
Yeah,
the law,
well,
statutes, and
that
commandments.
Samaritan woman was 99% most likely to be an Israelite.
Meaning that they were engaging in actions from the fathers of old, but they
Yeah,
didn't have
you know
the
not what you
meaning
worship.
why they were doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
But just by
Because remember,
They were doing things by nature.
yes,
Mhm. and remember,
it just says here,
yeah, you know not what you worship. We know what we worship. Because remember, Jeroboam, he put out the Levites and he built the idolatrous temples in Samaria and Dan so that we wouldn't go down to Jerusalem. But then he had feasts that mirrored the feasts that were going on in Jerusalem. And don't go down there, come here. And he put a calf into one and a calf in another. So he brought the northern kingdom into idolatry while still trying to do the different things of worshiping Yahweh. And now through time, you don't know what you worship, but we know what we worship because salvation is of the Jews. The Jews would wake up who? The other 10 tribes. The Jews would know what the worship of Yahweh is. The Jews would have to teach the other tribes what the worship of Yahweh is. So
go forward.
yeah, we can go forward.
For when the Gentiles which had not the law do by nature the things contained in the law,
Mhm.
these having not the law or a law unto themselves, which show the work of the law written in their hearts,
Mhm.
their conscience also bearing witness that in their thoughts the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another.
Mhm.
And in the day when Yahweh shall judge the secrets of men by Hamashiach Yahweh Shai according to my gospel,
Mhm.
behold, thou art called Jews and retest in the law,
Restest.
restest in the law, and
Mhm.
maketh thy boast of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm. And knows his will and approveth the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law. So another thing, well, did you have a point?
No, I'm because I can keep going.
Because I'll add a point that
Yeah,
just bring it out.
make that point.
The Christians talk about being a spiritual Israelite, a spiritual Jew now, but without keeping the law. It says a Jew resteth in the law. A Jew maketh his boast of Yahweh and knoweth his will and approveth the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law. They teach us that you can become a spiritual Jew. Let's say even if a Gentile can, because they say you can be a Moabite and become a spiritual Jew, but you do it by not keeping the law. We see even in the New Testament, a Jew is instructed out of the law. So how can you not be a Jew and become one spiritually without being instructed out of the law? It don't even make no sense. You can't.
Yeah. Right, fulfill the law. That's what they always say.
Yeah, and now you can be a spiritual Jew by not keeping it. A Jew's instructed out of it. A Jew resteth in it.
I got precept.
We can go back. All right.
This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 32, and it says, "Or is there any other people that know of thee besides Israel? Or what generation have so believed thy covenants as Jacob? And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor have no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and think not upon thy commandments. Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and theirs also that dwell in the world. And so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel." The Second Ezra chapter 3, start at verse 33. "Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen."
But not the heathen.
Come.
So how can they be a spiritual anything? They still spiritually a heathen like they always been.
Right?
In spirit and truth.
Yep. And then, like you
Crazy.
just to let me back off what you were saying earlier, you seen the natives and they was there, they was keeping some of the laws, and they was known by keeping the law. They was known by keeping the fringes. They was known by keeping harvest fruit festivities and things of that nature, but they had gone off a little bit. They was known by the precepts of the Most High. That's how they were identified.
Can I take that up to the same?
Go ahead.
In verse 30. Second Ezra 3:30.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
"For I have seen how thou hast suffered them sinning, and hast spared wicked doers, and hast destroyed thy people, and hast preserved thine enemies, and has not signified it. I do not remember how."
Real quick, I gotta show you one with that.
Okay.
My fault. Just a point on that.
Yeah.
Read that again. "And has destroyed thy people and what?
And preserve thy enemies,
Uh-huh.
and have not signified it."
Do you know what salvation means? One of the definitions for salvation is
Say that.
preserved.
Right.
Preserved. So when he says salvation is come to the Gentiles, and the Christians want to put in there, he already is talking about Israel. See here, he's talking about actual Gentiles, Moabites, Edomites, Ammonites. You can go back in scriptures and see, okay, kind. Because what is coming when Paul wrote that? What still hasn't happened yet? The fall of Jerusalem, the preserving of the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Edomites, the Romans. The same way you see here in Second Ezra. This was happening. It was a form of salvation for the enemies, preserving of the enemies while Israel falls.
Come.
Just to throw a wrench in the whole idea that salvation for anybody other than Israel is talking about eternal life. Cool, salvation. You're right, because the heathens get preserved while Israel falls. Keep going. Yeah, back to your point. Keep going.
"I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion? Or is there any other people that knoweth and keepeth thee beside Israel? Or what generation hath so believed thy covenant as Jacob?"
So they not even believers.
They're not gonna be-
No, Ezra don't know what he's talking about. Ezra is only taken up in the mountain and gave him the ability, the spirit to write the whole Bible again because it was lost. They don't know what he's talking about. He was given the visions of the past, present, and future, but he don't know what he's talking about. Nobody else is even a believer.
Right.
So that's just even with the faith part. They don't have faith. Unless Ezra's a false prophet, don't know what he's talking about. So who am I to believe?
Right.
The Negro that follows after his slave master, walks around in a monkey suit and a fancy car that he got off of the backs of all the poor people in his building congregation. I'm supposed to believe him. I'm going to believe Ezra. I'm going to believe the prophet Ezra, who also prophesied of our Messiah as well. Like, no wonder they took that book out, because it's too much good stuff in there that might enlighten a Negro.
Way too much.
Come.
All right, we ready to go back?
It is literally showing you identifiers of who we're going to be, what they're not going to do, and how to even separate them from even thinking they can be a part of our covenants.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we have a witness here in Psalms 147:19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and commandments, and his statutes and judgments unto Israel. And he have not built so with any other nation.
Exactly.
And as for their judgments, they have not known.
They have not known them.
Praise Yahweh.
Right. And for somebody that has a little bit of a ability to reason and thought, that's good enough right there.
Barakah.
But we've already that we've been bringing that out. We see they go right past that. They still going past that. But you take that, and then you got this. Listen. They don't got the ability. They can't even got the ability, the understanding to dispute these things. That's why they got to take books out. That's why the main drive is to make them niggas think that the book don't matter. That's why that's the main focus, is keep them from reading the book. Keep them in the dark and feed them shit, and we're gonna have plenty of mushrooms.
NIV.
Yeah. Give them the NIV.
Yeah.
And fish fries on Sunday afternoons after the service. And they gave up. Make sure they give up $100 and get that way they can get a $10 plate of catfish
And chitlins.
Yeah, how about that?
on a Sunday afternoon and call it the Sabbath day.
You about to go
Oh, man.
Can I establish the matter with this last
Mhm.
scripture?
Yeah.
This is Amos 3:1-2.
Yeah.
Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up out of the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your
That's right.
iniquities. They have not known the judgments.
That's right.
Fine. All praises. You ready to go back? Fifteen and 7.
The book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 7. And he said unto him, I am Yahweh that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Yahweh thy power, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, take me an heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another. But the birds divided he not.
This part was added in, by the way. This part was added in.
That we're about to read.
That we just read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they added in. Remember, they added in all the meat eating parts. There's another added one in. I just got to point them out. We're gonna point out about 100,000 of them, but this is another one. Abraham is added. Abraham ain't do this. Abraham, he divided dandelions. Don't believe the hype.
We're gonna make a vegan lamb for a Passover.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna make it dragon fruit and jackfruit.
Yeah, it's gonna have some durian in it or something.
We're gonna use the dragon fruit for the blood.
Yeah,
Vegetarian meat.
Beyond meat lamb.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. And he said unto him, take me, Salak, we read that. And verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, And lo, an honor of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substance.
This is a scripture. I didn't add in there, but we gotta address it. This is a scripture that's used sometimes as a prophecy of here and how we're gonna come out of America.
Nah, man, it's me on Nazis in the UN taking them people over there to the land.
Well, I believe that it is, but at the same time, if it is, it has to be twofold. It has to be something that happens twice, because for this to be talking about America, just get Stephen. Stephen, you know where it's at? Stephen said this is already Stephen Slaki. Stephen said it was already fulfilled. I believe it can be fulfilled in original Egypt and still supposed to be happening now.
This is not talking about the Egypt captivity.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But a lot of people believe this is talking about this Egypt captivity.
Come.
But Stephen said it was already fulfilled. We're going to get there. There's still 400-year prophecy of being here. I believe this one can still be talking about here, but if you're dealing with a non-believer or a Christian, somebody trying to debate you, they can go and they can say, this ain't talking about America. You Negroes ain't slavery isn't in the Bible. That's what they try to say. And they're going to go to Acts and show that Stephen said it was fulfilled. So for who already knew that? Who already knew that? So I got to bring it out. This is for learning purposes. So because when you get into the time in Egypt, we wasn't serving the whole time in slavery 400 years. But Stephen says it was fulfilled then. So are you going to throw out Stephen? It says he was in the spirit. I think it's Acts 7.
Oh, I got a whole bunch of this lit up with a highlighter. Oh my goodness.
Either way, while you get that.
History and stuff.
Yeah, he gives the history at the end of it. He's going to say that. All right, what is it? Chapter 7? It's chapter 7, right? While Stephen's being stoned.
Yeah, it's like around 57.
He's coming off of what took place in the first Egypt.
No, he's being stoned.
Yeah, it's 36.
36. All right, let me get it.
35, 36. I got it highlighted.
So it's
All right.
Acts, what chapter?
7:36.
35.
Go there. 35.
And down to 38, I got that part highlighted. I think that's what you're telling me.
All right. Go ahead.
The book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 35. This Moses, whom they refused, saying, who made thee a ruler and who made thee a ruler and a judge? The same did Yahweh send to be a ruler and a deliverer by the hand of the angel, which appeared to him in a bush. He brought them out after that he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt, and in the Red Sea, and in the wilderness 40 years. This is that Moses which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall Yahweh thy power raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me. Him shall ye hear. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with thee, the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai, and with our fathers who received the law of the oracles to give unto us, to whom our fathers would not obey, but thrust him from them, and in their hearts turned back again into Egypt, saying unto Aaron, make us gods to go before us. For no, that's not it. That's not what you want.
Well, we're explaining the 400-year captivity.
Yeah.
prophecy.
I think it's in chapter 8. Started at the beginning. No, start at 59 in chapter 7.
What's the address to that?
Chapter Acts 7, start at 58.
Acts 7.
No, I don't think that's what you're looking for either.
Okay, you said Stephen, right? You Stephen.
Yeah.
Right.
When he stoned him, right?
Mm-hmm.
They stoned Stephen calling upon God. That's in 59.
Yeah, but he's looking for that prophecy that we just read.
Mm-hmm. Just in Genesis.
It's Acts 7 and 30 and 55. But he, being full of the Holy Ghost, looked up steadfastly into heaven and saw the glory of Yahweh and Yahushua standing on the right hand of Yahweh, and said, behold, I see the heavens open and the sons of man standing on the right hand of Yahweh. Is that one?
No, I don't believe so either. Still looking for it?
It's in this chapter.
At 7?
Mm-hmm. $17.
Are we talking about the Egyptian captivity here?
Yes.
So we're looking at Exodus 1:1.
The book of Acts chapter 7, verse 17. But when the time of...
No.
It's not it
Above.
either.
It is, but above. And he gave him hers. Start 4.
Start at 4.
Yeah. You can just start at 1 since we're here.
Then said the high priest, are these things so? And he said, men, brethren, and fathers, hearken. Yahweh of glory appeared unto our father Abraham when he was in Mesopotamia before he dwelt in Haran,
Mm-hmm.
and said unto him, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred, and come into the land which I shall show thee. Then came he out of the land of the Chaldeans and dwelt in Haran. And from thence, when his father was dead, he removed him into the land wherein ye now dwell. And he gave him non-inheritance in it, no, not so much as setting his foot on. Yet he promised that he would give it to him for possession, and to his seed after him, when as yet he had no child. And Yahweh spake on this wise, that his seed should sojourn in a strange land.
This is what we just read back in Genesis. This is what Genesis. That's when he was telling them this right here. Go ahead.
And that they should bring them into bondage and entreat them evil 400 years. And the nation to whom they shall be in bondage will I judge, said Yahweh. And after that shall they come forth and serve me in this place. And he gave him the covenant of circumcision. And so Abraham begat Isaac and circumcised him in the 8th day. And Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat 12 patriarchs. And the patriarchs moved with envy, sold Joseph into Egypt, but Yahweh was with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he delivered him out of all his afflictions and gave him favor and wisdom in the sight of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And he made him governor over Egypt and all his house.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Now there came a dearth over all the land in Egypt and Canaan, and great affliction. And our father found no substance. But when Jacob heard that there was corn in Egypt, he sent out our fathers first. And at the second time, Joseph was made known to his brethren, and Joseph's kindred was made known unto Pharaoh. Then sent Joseph and called his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred 75 souls. So Jacob went down into Egypt and died.
Keep going.
He and our fathers, and were carried over into Shechem and laid in the sepulchre that Abraham bought for a sum of money of the sons of Emer, the father of Shechem.
Mm-hmm.
But when the time of promise drew nigh,
The time of what?
the time of promise
What
drew
promise?
nigh, which God had sworn to Abraham, the people grew and multiplied in Egypt.
What promise?
What promise?
Yeah. We just read
They
it.
were going to serve 400 years.
Yeah. He's saying it happened. The promise drew nigh. Keep going. The people grew and multiplied in Egypt when the time of promise drew nigh. Go ahead.
Till another king arose, which knew not Joseph. The same dwelt subtly with our kindred, and evil entreated our fathers, so that they came out their young children to the end they might not live, in which the time Moses was born and was exceeding fair and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up and nourished him for her own son. And Moses learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in the words and in deeds. And when he was full 40 years old, and came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel, and seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him and avenged him that was oppressed, and smote the Egyptian. For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that Yahweh by his hand would deliver them, but they understood not. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove, and would have sent them at one again, saying, Sirs, ye are brethren, why do you wrong one another? But he that did his neighbor wrong,
Drop 31.
it's like 31. When Moses saw it, he wondered in the sight, and as he drew near to behold it, the voice of Yahweh came unto him, saying, I am Yahweh of thy fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, the power of Jacob.
Drop 34.
I have seen the affliction of my people, which is in Egypt, and I have heard their groaning, and I am come down to deliver them, and now come, I will send thee into Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
This Moses whom they refused, saying, who made thee a ruler and a judge? The same did Yahweh send to be a ruler and a deliverer by the hand of the angel which appeared to him in the bush.
Mhm.
He brought them out after that. He showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness 40 years.
So that was the promise. That they would serve in Egypt and then for 400 years and be brought out. That's what Stephen said. So what about us being here at 400 years?
Ezekiel 4.
Ezekiel 4, exactly. So
MC Pen.
Ezekiel 4 is a 430 years that hasn't been fulfilled.
The receipt you just read, what was that?
What we just read was Acts 7, 1 to 36. 1 to 36.
What is it, Genesis 15?
So I don't got a problem with applying the
Well, some scriptures is two
that
and threefold.
right.
Yeah.
So I don't got a problem applying it, but if you're trying to deal with somebody who doesn't believe and they have any contention, they can go here and they can cut that just like that. Stephen said, what are you going to do? Throw out Stephen? But you can still prove our time here through the Bible, through prophecy, like the brother just said, Ezekiel 4.
Ezekiel chapter 4.
Sir, yes, sir.
Because listen, once you get your head chopped, that's when conversations end. And then they like, oh nah, I proved them wrong.
No, that Deuteronomy.
Even though like that's not the only place we go to prove who we are, but you don't want to get your head chopped. We Most High gave us the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and the ability to prove all things. So you want to have the argument for every argument they got. You want to be ready for the things they're gonna pull out of their little trick bag. You don't want to be tricked. So it's important to know these things and know where to go. So it's Ezekiel 4 and 5.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 5.
Actually, you want to start before though. But yeah, it's 5. So start at 1.
Thou also, son of man, take thee a tile and lay it before thee, and portray upon it the city, even Jerusalem, and lay siege against it, and build a fort against it, and cast a mountain against it, set the camp also against it, and set battering rams against it round about. Moreover, take thee unto thee an iron pan, and set it for a wall of iron between thee and the city, and set thy face against it, and it shall be besieged, and thou shalt lay siege against it. This shall be a sign of the house of Israel. Lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon
all these things he's doing in front of Israel as a sign of what's going to happen. Go ahead.
According to the number of days that thou shalt lie upon it, thou shalt bear their iniquity. For I have laid upon thee the years their iniquity according to the number of the days, 390 days.
So for every day, it's a year that they'll be in captivity. This is the symbolism of him laying on his left side to symbolize the northern kingdom's iniquity and being in captivity 390 days. Go ahead.
So shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee each day for a year. Therefore, thou shalt set thy face toward the siege of Jerusalem, and thy arm shall be uncovered, and thou shalt prophesy against it.
So this is a prophecy, something to come to pass. 430 years. Prophecy that you're not going to find happen in history except for here, where it would be Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom together,
Pressed together.
pressed together. That's Jeremiah chapter 30, 33. Right. No. Either way, we'll go there after. Let's finish this out. So 430 years that you're not going to find happen in history nowhere, except for here in America. Go ahead.
Take thou also unto thee wheat and barley and beans and lentils and millet
Where you
and
at?
fitches.
Where you at? You got to read verse 7.
Oh, sorry. Therefore thou shalt set thy face toward the siege of Jerusalem,
It's like at 8. We read 7.
and behold, I will lay bands up upon thee,
Uh-huh.
and thou shalt not turn thee from one side to the another, till thou hast ended the days of the siege.
What's the band? Slavery. So it's prophesied that the Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom would be in slavery for 430 years. And then Jeremiah said they would be together. Jeremiah chapter 33:18. Or no, it's 15:33. Yeah, that's it.
That is it. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. The Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon.
Babylon is the last kingdom, the last slavery. No man shall buy you, meaning redeem you, because only Yahweh will redeem you from this slavery that you would be serving for 430 years. Both the northern and southern kingdoms are pressed together. So yeah, you can definitely show it in the Bible, but you're better off just going here. You're better off just going here. That way you won't get your head cracked. Huh? Everybody understand? We good? All right, we can go back and finish this out. But yeah, even when you go into the history of Egypt, the time don't add up of being oppressed for that time. That's why it's like, okay, that must be now. But you can't. It's going to be hard to stay on that once somebody brings out Acts.
Yeah, and if we try to appropriate the transatlantic slave trade for this right here, captivity,
Mm-hmm.
we fall short quite a few years with that right there. I think we say that the transatlantic slave trade started in 1619.
That's what they say.
In 1865, right?
But you really can take it back before that. Technically,
Yes.
actually,
Yes.
Portugal started in the 1500s.
Right.
And then you would take that up to 1863. That's exactly 430 years.
Or we could start the captivity on the continent of Africa, which is around 1451.
That's what I'm
Well, the
saying.
captivity, like you said, it started in 1492 because it started on this side. They was taking slaves back to Algiers, Tangiers, Portugal, Morocco. They had already started the slave trade, and they was taking Native
Right.
Americans from this side over there with the slave trade.
And that was early as 1441. So 1441 to 1865 would be 430 days.
Okay.
That's what we make it.
Right.
Okay.
But either way, we got the time there.
Right.
Like,
And this is, I think this right here is
happened to nobody else.
common. And I think this is also a reason that we might have to go back and look at the Juneteenth celebration, because the Most High said this is what it will be. But we are crediting Esau giving us relief when the Most High has already prophesied, and his words are not going to return to him void, that this is what you're going, this is the time you're going to serve. And this is when he'll break the chains of our enemy. But those chains that are being broken today, we could join hands with Esau and his other people and say that there was some good so-called white folk that was responsible for us coming out of captivity. And that's what we do with Juneteenth. We'll credit to a couple white folk that were working with him, but in it all, the Most High said that this is what it would happen. It would be 430 years, and that's his doing, not the doing of us per se.
Yeah, no proclamations or anything. Yeah.
So it's a misappropriation of, we should be glorifying God on Juneteenth, not man.
Con.
And that's what makes that Juneteenth perverted.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's why there's some seen a thing. I want to make a shirt of it. I seen a thing online that said free-ish.
Yeah, I saw it too. It had a definition there.
Yeah, I want that on a shirt. Yeah, free-ish. Cause it ain't we still here.
Right.
and our people still fighting for their spirit and mind. Your spirit and mind is still in slavery.
And freedom ain't free.
Our people is giving up. Matter of fact, I say fighting. They're not fighting. The fight's been given up with this dream that and lie that we were free. We're free now. But you're free, but you just got this. You had to fight since 1863 till what, 2-3 years ago to get this acknowledged as a day here in America. So how free are you really free? You had just to get this day and people to acknowledge your quote unquote freedom. You had to fight over 100 years for that.
Right. So it ain't free.
Right.
A whole lot of blood.
Yeah.
And the proclamation was in 63, but the recognition of it was in 65, 1865.
And we're free, but we had a whole civil rights movement.
Sure.
Why do you still have to fight if you're free for rights?
Exactly.
You're free.
I
Because
am a man.
yeah,
Why
you gotta
is
fight. Yeah, no freedom.
Why are you still going in all want for all things to your enemy?
Mhm.
Free.
Exactly.
We are this day in our captivity,
That's a
subject to
contradiction.
payments.
Exactly. That's a contradictory to slavery. It's going to your enemy in all wants.
Well, brother, we can apply where we want now.
God.
We can decide where our job's at, brother.
Until they meet their quota. We have 2 Negroes. That's enough.
I can go find another one though. I'm free, brother. I get to drive a car on the highway.
So you
It's
know,
simple, man. When will you stop loving? Yeah, when will you stop loving simplicity? That's why the Most High asked that. When will you stop loving simplicity? You Negroes, it's simple.
Right. You've been free to gather yourself together because that's the commandment, right? So we have been liberated unto being obedient to the scriptures, right? Proclaiming the glory of the Most High. And right now we're still slipping.
Right, we is. And First Ezra said, "Let's get it real quick. Liberty. What's liberty for? To chase rap careers? To get a Becky with a big butt?
Sure. With the good hair.
Be able to go shopping whenever you want. Give your money back to the man that gave it to you.
Get you some free sparkling water at the Versace store for spending a whole bunch of money.
Yeah. Join hands with your enemies
Sure.
Buy food that was
Make
taken from
numbers,
your
yo.
own land.
and engage in his customs.
That's liberty, huh? That's what you was giving liberty for. Like that's our people destroyed for lack of knowledge, because it was some liberty. That was definitely liberty. It went from something that was way worse, more confining. You couldn't do none of those things. So yeah, there was a certain amount of liberty and freedom that came with that. But then you know, they already, why they allow it? We already got these niggas sleep. They're not going to take advantage of this liberty. Why the Most High gave them liberty? We ain't got to worry about that. They're not going to follow this. First Ezra 4 and 62. First Ezra 4:62. Go ahead.
The book of First Ezra, chapter 4:62. And they praised Yahweh of their fathers because he had given them freedom and liberty.
That's what Juneteenth's about.
We felt it.
Celebrating, though we missed the part of giving the Most High that praise, but you know, some do though.
We gave it to-
Some do,
we gave
but
it to
they're
Lincoln.
yeah.
To go up and to build Jerusalem and the temple.
But we
which
forget
is-
this part. We celebrate freedom and liberty to go to the club, to be able to get new sneakers when we want. We celebrate the freedom and liberty to go apply for whatever job we want. But it was the Most High gave us this liberty to verse 63. Read that again.
Verse 63. To go up and to build Jerusalem and the temple which is called by his name. And they feasted with ornaments, with instruments and music and gladness 7 days.
You know, so we can feast, we can celebrate Juneteenth. Actually, if anybody can, we can.
All right, so
'Cause I'm just saying, not celebrate is the hot, but we can celebrate having some liberty and freedom, having a lighter yoke, because we're doing what? We're building the Jerusalem back up. We're doing the work of the Most High, and we understand that the liberty is a beautiful thing that the Most High provided, because that's what it did. That proclamation. First off, it wasn't Abe Lincoln acting off his own. Remember, the heart of the king is in the hand of the Most High. So the Most High made that happen. He gave us liberty through that thing for what? Now go build up Jerusalem and the temple which is called by my name. But we out here celebrating Juneteenth right before going and celebrating 4th of July. We're happy that we're free to celebrate the 4th of July when it comes in a couple weeks. Yeah, we were slaves back in 1776. But what you talking about, brother? We got freed. Now we're able to celebrate it. Don't you? Come on, you got to think, brother. We should celebrate. Get the fireworks. We're free now.
I got a precept, man. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3. We're going to read 8 through 13. And it reads, Behold. Oh, you going there, my bad.
Where you at?
Book of Baruch, chapter 3, 8 through 13.
All right. Go.
The book of Baruch, chapter 3, start at verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. Y'all pay taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all paychecks getting taxed, right? Y'all paying a water bill, electricity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We are subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from Yahweh our power. Hear, Israel, the commandments of life.
Real quick, not just taxes. The houses are set up at a price where we can barely afford them, to keep us in servitude, to keep us needing that job.
Right. So we've been given freedom for the past to prepare for the Passover.
Like look, these houses, like think of a rundown home like over Hilltop or North Side by Riverside or wherever. Them houses ain't worth the price tag they putting on them. They not.
Hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thy enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead. Y'all defiled with all these false religions, all these philosophies. You want to study more science. You want to study Islam. Some of us in the Buddhism. That's y'all defiled with the dead, the ways that lead to death.
And it just showed not being free though.
And our desire to take in bond with Babylon.
Come.
It just showed we're not free just by being there.
Right.
It said, how happened if thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxing old in a strange country? Where was the return that? Our people, we celebrate Juneteenth, but we still in the same land. So what's really to celebrate? And when somebody did step up, even though they had the wrong drive and wrong vision to go back to Africa, it was still out of here. Marcus Garvey, and what they do?
Corrupt that.
They was like, oh, this nigga wants to leave. False charges. It's not happening. Destroyed the ships.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King, this nigga talking about don't spend your money. If all you black folks get together and don't spend money, we'll be cool. We'll really be able to make a hit against our oppressor. Oh no, take that nigga out. Yeah. So June 19th, they was out. Our people was celebrating it like I seen more people out than ever any other Juneteenth this year. Same with 4th of July. They was out this year. This week, Juneteenth, like drive down any city block, you see more people out than you seen during COVID, obviously, but even before COVID. I remember before COVID, Negroes wasn't out like they out now.
And none of the celebration when we celebrate Juneteenth is there a man saying because we went to war with Esau that we broke his chains, and Juneteenth is a result of us by the Most High battling us. We're giving exaltation to Esau and his kingdom for being a merciful oppressor when that's not the case. That's like you said, is when the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. There's a mighty river, he turneth it as he will.
Like they said, it's free. They're not.
Right.
That's why we got something better than the Juneteenth. We got something better than the 4th of July. We got a Hanukkah where we beat the pants off our Idumea. I mean, they don't want to celebrate that. Yeah, Purim too. Beat the pants out of Amalek. And they got hung on their own gallows. They don't want you to know that those was pretty much slave revolts.
And the Most High gets the glory.
That's right.
Not the Lord.
That's right.
Now we got Juneteenth pageants. There's a Juneteenth pageant, like the world gives a damn about that. But it was really one. Like they crowned the princess or whatever they call her, the pageant winner and all that. Same way Miss Juneteenth. So you got Miss America and Miss Juneteenth. Who you think they send into the Miss World competitions? Yeah, like you Juneteenth ain't shit.
That's just to pacify your foolish mind. Right?
But they had Miss Black America and it would surpass them, and then they want to combine it and get rid of it.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you niggas is still niggas and better believe it and know it.
Verse 10. How happened it to Israel that thou art in thine enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead, that thou art counted with them that go down to the grave? You counted with Esau. You sitting there eating crabs and all that stuff, setting off fireworks, spending $400 on some damn fireworks, man, and still setting fireworks off this morning. 3 a.m, stupid stuff.
And we seen we seen the Most High bring forth a sacrifice. We had so many people that died during the celebration of Juneteenth. Just like in the 4th of July, we're watching that these events are drawing us together, and then hell is breaking out.
Because they're not gathering under the Most High. Yeah. David, one year they beat the hell out of Esau. Remember they was in that Montgomery brawl?
Yeah, exactly.
Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom. For if thou hast walked in the way of Yahweh, thou shouldst have dwelled in peace forever. You know what I mean? So if you're really free and you're gonna be keeping the Most High's laws, you're gonna be dwelling in peace forever.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even dwelling in peace. Like you just said, just to land me back off what you said. You sacrificing the house of time, people getting shot up at Juneteenth, twerking on top of the ice cream truck. Just stupidity, man. Getting killed 4th of July, fireworks going off. I seen one video, the whole fireworks, one of them hit the whole thing. Everybody had to scatter, everybody had to run because it started hitting the house, fireworks going everywhere, shooting out in every direction, like the whole thing going up. Spending a whole bunch of stupid money.
Salaki. And we're watching a lot of sacrifices being done on Sabbath day barbecues by Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Family barbecues at that.
Because they profaning the Sabbath and they keeping Saturn's day instead of the Sabbath day.
There's a judgment.
Yeah, it's a judgment for that. Yeah, I mean, even the people out there that celebrating 4th of July, we went over there with the children the other day. You celebrating the dog days of summer. You got Series A, B, and C aligned. That's what you really celebrating because they wasn't free on the 4th of July. It wasn't free at all. The British funded both sides of the war, so how was you free? And you still under British rule. The royal families is still around. You got the royal family still around. You got the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the Beers. You got the Kochs. They still ruling everything. Still ruling everything. So how you celebrating the freedom? It's a false freedom. Nah, you being tricked into celebrating the dog days of summer. You know what I mean? And it started in Egypt with Anubis, and then it went into Greco-Roman. We went over it was Sirius. Then it became Sirius. You're celebrating the dog days of summer as the days get hotter. That's what it represents, the dog days of summer. And it's a trick. And then these bodies getting sacrificed. You sacrifice to Anubis, another god.
That's the dog egg guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Salaki, and then we have been given freedom, right, to choose who we will serve.
Mhm.
Because now it's 11:59 in some seconds. The Most High is reaping and harvesting, right, separating the goat from the sheep.
Yeah.
And his sickle is in Jake's territory. It's all up in the hood, right?
Well, judgment's going to start in the house of Israel.
Yes, and it's all in the house of Israel.
Yeah.
Because we're watching spirits play out in our communities that you'll say that's not even us. We don't even act that way. We do
Yeah.
some wicked, evil stuff, but we don't take our 3 kids down to the river and drown them out. That ain't a Jake system.
Yeah, we were just talking about that too, man. Yeah, putting kids in the oven and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Jake is doing stupid stuff that you would think Esau, like you said, you would hear that back in the day. You would automatically know a white person did that, but nah, Jake is doing this retardedness, smoking wet and genetically modified marijuana, just doing anything.
Most High in the house. He's in the house.
Yeah,
He's requiring a blood sacrifice. It's a charge for everything we do in this last few minutes of
the final hour. Yeah,
return of Hamashiach.
yeah,
All right, let's finish this up.
yeah. That's it. That's all I wanted.
Verse 15, Genesis.
Yeah. The book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 10. Thou didst blow with thy wind, the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters.
Where you at?
Ain't that where we at? 15:10. Oh, I'm sorry.
Verse 15.
I know I'm
Genesis chapter.
Yeah, I know I'm in Exodus. I'm sorry. Book of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 10. And he took unto him all these and divided them in the midst and laid each piece one against another.
Where you at?
Genesis 10.
15, verse 15.
Okay, Slocky. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Chapter 15.
You're right. I'm in 15.
Oh, okay.
And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the 4th generation, they shall come hither again. For the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In the same day, the power.
Wait, where you at? That's a new
18.
chapter, ain't it?
No. In
Oh,
the same
Hold on.
day,
I don't know why I ain't got that.
15, 18.
Oh, I do. It's not good. Go ahead.
in the same day, the power made a covenant with Abraham, saying, "Unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river of Euphrates, the Kenites and the Kenizzites and the Cadmonites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Rephaims and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Girgashites and the Jebusites."
Oh, that's it.
Yep,
Okay.
that's it.
All right.
Oh yeah, we passed on to
Yeah. We're going to close out right there.
once again, we are Hebrew chosen elect. We would enjoy if you come to fellowship with us here at Rose Hill Community Center at 19 Lamson Lane, classroom 110B, from Saturday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you would like to give any alms or any free will offerings, you can give it at cash tag Hebrew Chosen Elect at Cash App. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can hit me up or Brother Gamaria up on Facebook or in the comments, and we'll gladly return any messages or respond to any comments that you have available. And once again, we'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahushua, and blessings upon each and every one of you, and greetings to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four corners of the globe. And with that, we say, Kwam Yasharallah,
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah,
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.